Welcome back to Radio Free QuickBooks Television. Thanks so much for watching these episodes here through Intuit Academy. I hope you guys are finding some value out of them and really enjoying it. I'll be your host for this session, Woody Adams. I'm a product specialist with Intuit, dealing mostly with QuickBooks related issues. And we've had Radio Free QuickBooks for a couple years on the radio, so I have to bring in co-founders, co-hosts Stacy Kildall, Don Brillin, both wearing some type of sweater, which I'll explain. Stacy, how are you doing today?
I am fabulous as always. How are you? How are you doing?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Doing great. Holiday season, so we have Ralphie here.
Nice.
And of course, that my mom's going to be watching this. Really, we did no, but we have Saint Nick here.
Yeah.
So doing well.
Yeah,
A little
that's
freaked
good.
out, but it's good. He's much taller than I am.
Right.
Don, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Yeah. So today's been great. It's a great holiday time, season and all, and I'm sparkly. Stacy's
Right.
furry. It's
Right.
really super soft. Her
But
sweater's
it's warm
really
because
soft.
even in Texas we get some cold.
Yeah.
Cold. So
Yeah.
coming in from the hotel and stuff. Because
Right.
we are actually at, and I was remiss to say, Dan Lowell would want me to say, Studio X27. This
Oh.
is Building 3,
You're right.
Intuit headquarters,
They had
Plano,
to switch
Texas.
around to letters
Right.
then numbers.
Right.
Several studios
So
here,
many, yeah.
radio stuff, TV. But thanks to you guys for coming out, of course, joining me. This
I do want to make sure that the audience does know, the viewers do know, that this time, I want to make sure, again, it's all about clarifying confusion, because, when sometimes we're on the
Yeah, yeah.
show,
No, you're right.
you think, oh, hey, isn't that so-and-so from such and such, or whatever, or I've seen her here or there.
From somewhere.
And from this situation, so for this particular
not.
episode, I am definitely not the next Chop champion. So for those of you, again, on the Food Network, I was not the Iron Chef in a previous episode, but this time,
Right.
not Chop champion. It's really too much pressure.
Almost third baseman from a league of their own. That's really
Yeah,
close.
I could have been.
Right.
There's a couple of them.
Right.
It's easy to see. I'm one of those familiar faces.
Yeah.
So anyway, just like to clear that up.
So the episode today is on social mobile. And the different things you can do as an accountant to reach your clients, be more engaging, et cetera. And Stacey's going to have a big role here because that's how she really launched Radio Free QuickBooks, but got some key advice from Stephanie Morris. We're going to bring in now. Stephanie, thanks so much for coming on RFQ-TV.
Thanks for having me.
And with acronyms here, I call her Stephmo of the SOMO. So Stephanie Morris.
That's right.
So mobile, right?
Yes.
So can you kind of explain your history with Intuit? Because I don't think you haven't been on a radio show yet, right? We
No,
haven't had you on the
we
radio.
haven't
Okay,
had
so we'd love to have the audience know a little more
Yeah.
about you, then we'll go into the topic.
Yeah, so, and I know Stacy and Dawn already know this, I'm on the social mobile marketing team for APD. When I started at Intuit, I was part of the training organization, so I know some people may have talked to me through webinars or virtual conferences, and we did used to have a podcast series before Radio Free QuickBooks came around, so that was kind of the precursor to what you guys are doing now.
And I
Yeah, how
want
did
to
that
mention that this is kind of a historic
pretty
show
historic.
because
It actually is.
This is the group that started Radio Free QuickBooks. We were all about 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, we were on a WebEx call about doing a webinar, just a Q&A, right? Ask the expert
Right.
webinar. And Woody said, what would be really cool is if we did a radio show, kind of like the car guys on NPR, only we just talked about QuickBooks.
Yeah.
And we flipped out. Dawn and I flipped out. It was
Yeah.
a brilliant idea. And Stephanie said, hey, there's this website called Blog Talk Radio
Yeah.
that you can do that with.
It's
and
her fault.
Yeah, it's all
It is
her fault.
Yes,
And
yes.
trainer writer.
And yeah,
Right.
exactly.
She brought us here for
Ex-
trainer writer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch
And-
tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And thank you for that then, Stephanie. And
Yeah.
you're kind of a kingpin behind, and Dan Lowell, of course, too.
Yeah.
Oh, are you
As well.
kidding?
And Dan is actually reason for the actual props. If you
Yeah.
guys can just get a little taste of this.
Yeah,
Sorry, Mom.
but-
Okay. But let's talk about social mobile because it's near and dear to Stacy's heart. Dawn does a lot of herself. She has invested in her website. We've invested in her RFQ website. But kind of how does social mobile play with Intuit's success, and then maybe we could go into for the accountants and best practice tips.
Yeah, so it is actually it's a big strategic plan for Intuit as a whole. A lot of the brands you'll see regarding, from the accounting side to the customer side, all have social presences, and it's big when we look at you can get support through our Intuit site. So if you're joined Intuit Community, for example, you have that.
Yeah.
We also have a Twitter channel, so you can talk to us directly. There's Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and the Instagram channel. So this is inside
awesome.
Intuit accountants, so you can kind of get a peek behind what's going on with corporate. One of the big strategic moves for the social for Intuit, it's really around personalizing and humanizing the brand. I know it's real tough sometimes. You talk about these big brands and it's a big corporate wall, and you're not actually able to talk to the people who make stuff happen. So like your brand managers, the people who are actually building the products, Woody and I, this is a great example. So what is really cool about social is that now these barriers are gone. So you can actually talk directly to the people who are making changes in the product, or you need a support question, you have an issue, or just to tell us that, hey, you're doing a good job. It was really great to see you at, whatever conference, so like we do, like with the marketing team, we travel to some of the conferences, and so it's a really great opportunity for us to be able to talk to our customers and in return have that relationship.
And I definitely want Stephanie to weigh in and even demo some of the best practices for an accountant reaching their clients. But Stacy, you've done a lot with this. Can you weigh in on the
so that's pretty much how we got the word out about the show. Is after we hung up the phone, Woody and I had a webinar to do. I can't remember what we were doing.
2012.
Yeah,
11.
It was a What's New webinar. So we had 2 hours between the phone call and the webinar, and within that 2 hours, I had the email address set up. We had the Twitter page set up. We had figured out, we had the Blog Talk Radio account, and we immediately started posting on Twitter and on Facebook that we were doing this, and this is when it was going to happen. So, and we have done pretty much all of our promotion through social media.
I don't think it's a we necessarily.
I know, she's kind. She's being kind, pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, we as a group, so
as a family.
And we set up the website. I built the horrible. For those of you who have been following us since the beginning, the website was really horrible. It was really kind of a Angel Fire circa 1989 sort of website. It looked like maybe a 10th grade project, but I did it all by myself, and I'm not a webmaster. I'm a QuickBooks nerd, so I was pretty proud of myself.
Pretty amazing.
I think
you're pretty
proud
amazing.
of myself for doing that.
Personally,
we have a much better site now, so we used one of the ways that we did that was we used Tumblr, because I can post I can create a Tumblr blog, and I can post there, and it will hit Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So I'm hitting 4 places with just one post and getting the word out for everything. So, and you guys have been really great in helping us, the retweets and sharing our links and stuff on Facebook.
So Stephmo, for like an accounting or firm trying to do what we're doing or get their site out and things like that, what would you, sorry.
I love it.
I love it.
My new nickname.
Sweater.
What would you suggest for actual social engines that someone would actually be not overwhelmed or intimidated to go and try and get themselves out there socially?
Yeah, so there's, so kind of like I mentioned earlier, we have like the arsenal of social channels. You can have a Twitter feed, you can have a Facebook page, you can have a profile on LinkedIn, you can have boards on Pinterest, you can post photos on Instagram, and there's probably even more that I'm not even including. So there are a ton of these social channels out there, and there's different ways you can approach it. You can either kind of dedicate yourself to one. So like I'm a big Facebook user. I really like Facebook, so I'm in it all the time. But I also have connected my accounts. So like I also have a Twitter feed, so you can ping me at Steph@Intuit. You can send me a direct message or anything like that, and it connects to my Facebook account.
Oh.
My LinkedIn account is also connected.
That's
cool. So one of the cool things that Facebook has done, which is probably why I haven't personally, this is just me, invested so much time into Facebook, is because they have Facebook Connect, and a lot of sites, you'll see this, that they're now allowing you to log in with your Facebook account, and then because of that, you can share across multiple sites.
Nice.
If you're looking at trying to grow your professional network, LinkedIn is a really great tool for that. We already know that a lot of accounting professionals are on LinkedIn. Michelle Long's group, for example, I think has like 20,000 members or something crazy like that. But it's awesome, and that's 20,000 people that, all have the same, there's something that connects them, and be it, like in this case, I think they're all pro advisors or QuickBooks users. So that is there's all like minds, and so you can have conversations on the subjects that you want. Twitter, for example, it allows you to use hashtags, so you can filter. Hashtag is the pound sign that you see like on your phone. Hashtag with a word after it, so like hashtag Intuit Accountants Cloud. I'm gonna go ahead and plug that.
Absolutely.
But then it gives you an opportunity to follow those conversations. And then if you don't want to just link all your accounts together, there are tools like Hootsuite, which is a personal favorite. I've been using it for years. It is free. You can have 5 social accounts on that. And it allows you to manage your social networks from one place. And you can pick and choose where you post and publish to.
Can we do for the audience just a quick demo of, I guess you were talking about the Hootsuite or something like that? That'd be great.
So in my Hootsuite profile, I do manage a lot of the APD social profiles, the Accounting Professionals Division social profiles. So I have LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter, and then there's different pages, so there's different groups that I'm part of and stuff like that. So mine is.
So you're like Oz. You're behind the curtain.
I am behind the curtain. Yes, I love that. Oh my goodness, yes. That is the first time I've heard that one. I'm a little speechless, so you threw me off there for a second.
It's okay.
Yeah. So what you can see from here is that right now I'm showing our Twitter feed, and I've created these things called streams, so I can follow every time that we're mentioned or somebody sends us a direct message. Also, what the tweets are that we sent out, so I can see if they've been retweeted. The reason that's important is if you're providing valuable content and somebody likes it, they'll retweet it.
Absolutely.
So
It kind of feeds on itself.
It feeds on itself. It helps us understand as well if we're providing the right kind of content. Because for us, the objective is really being able to provide valuable content for our customers.
Which is really good, and that for pro advisors, they can do the same thing. I mean, for accounting professionals, they can take just a page out of that book and do the same thing to grow their practice.
To grow their practice, yeah. So, I mean, and for accounting professionals, if you are wanting to grow your practice or even just build a base, maybe you're an expert in a particular area of QuickBooks, and you find value in sharing that knowledge with other people, you can have this. You can just create your own content. And when we say content, it's everything from a simple post, like, hey, did you know that there's changes to XYZ, whatever it be, or you could have a blog where you post articles. You could have a radio show that turns into a TV show. So you can do all that. And so content it's a variety of stuff. And then what it does is it enables you to also have dialogue with your customers. So it's about building those relationships. And since we're also now in this very mobile world that's very cloud-based, I know one of the concerns a lot of people have is, well, I want to see people, I want to talk to people, I want to be physically in a room with them. One of the best things about social networking and having all these tools at our fingertips is actually now we don't have to worry about where we are in the world. We can have those relationships with our customers regardless of where they're located.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, so and I love the new site too. So RFQ, and I didn't know that Stephanie was like a part of the wizard behind RFQ.
Critical.
That's amazing to me.
That's why we met.
Yeah,
that's like step one. It's like,
Right, get people together.
Getting people together. I was going to say something else.
And I'm probably, of the four of us, I'm probably the lowest as far as social mobile. I mean, Ray, my 7-year-old, will give me tips and things like that. And,
like help
nearly
you work
Isaac,
your phone.
who's almost 4, but not yet. But Ray for sure.
Yeah, with your phone.
No, you need to plug in the headset, Dad.
Of
course, that's why they can't hear me.
Right.
But Don, so your website though too is you've invested in
I just have to say, Puckett. That's all I can say. Puckett with a P.
Sure.
Jen Puckett is the mastermind behind that. And it's not me.
Yeah.
But I know I need it.
Right.
I know I need to have that Facebook, the Twitter, the LinkedIn. You got to have those buttons on the site.
So you got to get on board.
You got to get on board.
Yeah.
Right.
So I decided to invest in it and get someone else to have someone else do it because it's not my specialty.
Right.
Just like I expect my clients to hire an accountant and not become one.
Exactly.
And like Stephanie, so you're saying pick just a couple 3. Pick the cool ones. Hopefully you guys have heard some of the good best practices, and then just kind of roll on from there. Anything else you guys want to mention regarding social mobile or that you can think of, tips, tricks?
Yeah, I guess so. If you do decide to go into social space, you can't just let it die. So it does require some investment, and that is, to your point, you can hire somebody, you can do it yourself. But you want to also brand it. So you want to make sure that your company logo, if you're doing it
That's
as
so
part
important.
of your company,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
And you know what, one
Branding,
thing-
that's such a huge
Yes.
thing.
And
You're absolutely right.
I want to mention too
call.
is it shouldn't all just be sell, hire me.
Right, right.
You
Yes.
have to
Right.
really engage. You have to throw some personal things
Some
in there once
support
in a while.
articles, some things like
some
that, personal,
articles,
yeah.
some funny
Yeah.
things that you just see online. You have to really change it up. You
Human.
can't just make it just, hey, hire me
Yeah.
to do this. This is all
Bring
the
in the
time.
human
'Cause
art
that's the
element.
first
Yeah.
thing that people are going to do is just
Yes.
unfollow you, unfriend you. They're
Right.
going to be done.
Yeah.
So,
I
just
mean,
wanna
I
mention
think
that.
that's the key. It is
Exactly.
Mix it up.
social networks are people driven.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so it's not about the business, it's about who you are.
Sorry, this was the cue, because we're getting into 15
I love
minutes.
it.
But no, we just want to thank all you guys for watching. Stephanie Morris, thanks so much for coming on
Thank
Talk
you.
Social
No, I
Mobile. It's been
appreciate being
a
here.
blast. Stacey, Don, we're going to hold the shot. We do it at the end of every show. So
Okay.
3, 2, 1, hold the shot. Santa, you too. Stop, please.
Thanks for watching this episode of RFQ-TV. For more episodes of RFQ-TV, you can check out intuitacademy.com. Also, don't forget to follow us on Twitter, and if you'd like to continue the discussions, you can find us on LinkedIn.